Welcome back, everybody. Hope you've enjoying the day so far. I know I have. And we're ready for our next pair of lightning talks. So John, who do we have coming up?
So we got two great ones, Helen Beale, who I love, and then J. Paul Reed, who's always amazing. And I think for these, it's going to be interesting because one of the things I love about Ignites or Lightning Talks is they don't always have to be sort of DevOps and technical. They actually can be, something else, or they can skip sort of boundaries. So
yeah, and I think it also shows that talk to the people virtually around you. The DevOps community, especially the DevOps Enterprise Summit community, is full of very interesting people with diverse backgrounds and interests and hobbies. So it's always a fun time to find something new.
Yeah, a lot of boundary spanners, which I think is really always fun. That's one of the great things about our community.
Always fun. Well, here we go. Here's our next pair of lightning talks.
Hi, I'm Helen Beale. Welcome to my Ignite talk for DevOps Enterprise London 2020. Today I'm going to be talking about Kingley Vale, which is a national nature reserve in the UK, where I live and where I volunteer. One of the hardest things about lockdown has been not being allowed to visit Kingley Vale, where I normally spend a lot of my time. Here is me with a bucket of cow feed. I'm trying to move some cows around the reserve and explain what they do there a little bit later on. But they rather like the yew trees, which I'll talk about too. This is one of the views. This is the view south from the top of the reserve out to the Solent. It has incredible views, very, very steep climb up a hill. But you do get rewarded with these views out to the Solent, and they're beyond the English Channel, and they're beyond France. And this is the view the other way into the Surrey Hills, and deep in the distance there you can see a National Trust home called Uppark. And you can see our beautiful British countryside. Here it's looking a little bit wintry. And here you can see the actual map of the reserve. Earlier on you'd have seen the map of the UK. Hopefully those of you with eagle eyes would have noticed a big red pin pointing out exactly where we are, which is near Chichester on the south coast of England. And this is the reserve itself, and it's very famous for many things, partly its archaeological monuments. So here you can see some Bronze Age barrows on the left, and then you can see on the right what they look like today, and note the sheep on both of them. There's also lots of Iron Age and other things. These are the sheep. They join us every winter from the National Trust, and they're here to help us graze the grassland, basically. We have some chalkland, which is one of our treble SIs, our special sites of special scientific interest. And these are our cows that also help graze down the sward in order that our very fragile chalkland plants can survive against the stronger plants that these animals help us graze down. This is what would have been on the land many, many years ago in those Bronze Ages, as you saw. Other history, during World War II, we had a number of Canadians on site that were there, hidden, ready to do a reverse ambush. But we've got lots of ordnance still on the site, so you can see some there and see a man who's about to blow some up, and the cow's extremely unbothered. I mentioned the yew trees. This is one of the things that the site is most famous for. Huge yew forest, very old yew trees. You can see the size of them there, 500 to 1,000 years old. Very poisonous trees, although interestingly not the red berry. You can eat the red berry quite happily, but nothing else. This is Arthur Tansley, and you can see on the bottom left the stone that we have in memoriam to him, and the plaque on it there. He is the founder of nature conservation in the UK, and the reason that the reserve exists, he recognised that this was for human well-being. This is some of the tech that I use when I'm on site. So this is a little module that plugs into my phone that auto detects the bat species. You can see a couple of quite rare bats there, Deventums and Becksteins. We're particularly interested in those. All bats are protected in the UK. We also have lots of amphibians, well, as many amphibians as we have in the UK. So these are some tadpoles. We're particularly interested in newt spotting. So we go in and do newt surveys and turn them over and do belly print. That's how you tell whether one newt is not another. We also have 3 species of deer on the reserve. Again, we have cameras on the reserve, so some more tech that we're using. Particularly interested in where the deer are grazing, again, because it protects those plants. Sometimes the deer get themselves into trouble. So here's a baby deer that had got caught in a fence that's going to the vets. Another reason we have those treble SIs are orchids. So you can see a number of different orchids here. We have a really amazing display during the spring of various different species of frog and bee and early pyramids and all sorts of different orchids. And lots of butterflies. So we have about 38 of the 59 species of butterfly that are in the UK. So you can see peacocks on the top, and they're one particularly friendly one sat on my Matt's shoulder. We've also got these other ones. So this is Hippocrepus cormosa, which is a plant, one of our rare chalkbill plants, the horseshoe vetch, and this is a caterpillar. It's a chalk-kill blue caterpillar, and this is one of my favourite butterflies that I'm particularly fascinated with. You can see just a bit of thumb there, so you can see how big that butterfly is. Here are the adults on the right, making sure that we've got some more butterflies next year. A very unique colour, this milky blue. They're very lazy butterflies. They only travel about 20 kilometres. Some of those butterflies you looked at earlier actually migrate from Africa to the UK. And this is the yellow meadow ants. This is one of the ant hills with some wild thyme over it. And I've put this in here because the chalk-kill blue butterfly larva has a relationship with this yellow meadow ant. The yellow meadow ant takes the larva and puts them inside the nest and looks after them and saves them from predators. And this is the life cycle. So we are about to go into the season now of the butterfly being on the wing in July, just as we finished ours. I hope you enjoy the conference very much and enjoy talking about software life cycles too. Thank you for your time.
Hello, DevOps Enterprise Summit London Virtual Edition. My name is J. Paul Reed, at J. Paul Reed on Twitter. Do you do retrospectives, postmortems? Do you maybe have a problem management team that does incident reviews for you? How about ever gotten a speeding ticket? Well, if so, then this lightning talk is for you. So our story starts in beautiful and sunny Daly City, California, which is just south of San Francisco, at the Daly City In-N-Out. Now, the Daly City In-N-Out is objectively one of the best In-N-Outs because it is co-located with a Krispy Kreme donut, so you can get your burgers and donuts all in one convenient location. I just picked up my mom, actually, at the airport, and we decided to have lunch at the In-N-Out there. And so I was turning left out of the parking lot after we'd eaten to get back on the highway and go home and start hanging out and doing fun stuff. And so I roll up to this intersection. Of course, it's a beautiful day. My mom and I were fat and happy on our cheeseburgers, ready to go explore the sights of San Francisco.